Listen only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Networking Superstars founding ambassador Nicole Hanchi, and I will be your host for today. Gavin's going to show you the exact step-by-step process that you can use right now to take cold leads from the internet and turn them into brand new signups in your network marketing business, just like a professional. Plus, if you stick around to the end, Gavin is going to give you a very unique opportunity to take advantage of our scholarship program. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Gavin so you can get to know him better. As some of you may or may not know, he hasn't always been successful. I mean, we all start somewhere, right? He's had to work incredibly hard to pull himself out of a pretty deep hole that he dug many years ago. He was about, 10,000 pounds, 15 US thousand dollars in debt, working 2 jobs, sharing a small house with 7 people, sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Not a pretty picture, right? So as a result, he became very depressed, and he actually ended up turning to drink to make himself feel better. But the great thing is that he persisted. He studied, and 11 years later, here we are, and I'm so grateful for him. So I'm really glad that that it worked out that way. He now lives an incredibly full life of freedom with no job. He works for himself with his 2 children, Lottie and Ben, and his awesome wife, Pippa. He's earning the multiple streams of income from the internet. He's built up multiple 6-figure businesses online. Guys, he's living the dream. He's living, he's got what we're all looking for. So he's going to share these tips with you today. So at this point, I'd like to introduce my very good friend and mentor, Gavin Mountford. Gavin, are you here with us?
I am here. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I
My
appreciate it.
pleasure. My
Awesome.
pleasure.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Just want to double check that everybody can hear me okay and you can see the screen okay. If you could just type into the questions box and just say, yes, you're good, or I can hear you, then I know that we can move forward. Just triple checking with everybody because I know there's many people on here right now, many of you that I haven't met in person, and that is fantastic. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, awesome. Looks like you can hear me. Okay, so I'm going to get started. And Nicole will probably come back on if for any reason she can't see my screen or anything as we go through, just to make sure you can see everything as we go through. So firstly, I just want to say a huge congratulations for you being here and showing up early, showing up on time and actually doing what you said you're going to do and, committing and making that commitment and being here. You're going to learn a lot on this training. If you're involved in a network marketing business or a home-based business and you're looking for a way to leverage that to build the business to ultimately live the dreams, your dreams and your ultimate lifestyle. So when you apply these techniques, so we're going to go through pretty fast. Be prepared to take lots of notes as always, and we're going to go through this whole process. So I'm a lot like you in the fact that I'm not some kind of superstar. I guess some people might say it might look like I am by necessity, in the fact that I've had to figure this stuff out myself to make money for myself and for my family. As Nicole said, I was £10,000 in debt. I was living in a shared house with 7 other people, working 2 jobs. I'm not some kind of naturally gifted internet kid or a genius of any kind. I've had to figure this stuff out myself. So I'm a lot like you, except for I discovered a formula. I discovered a system that actually works. And kind of came up with it in a way, but at the same time, it just almost fell in my lap, and I'm going to be sharing that with you. So it was early 2001, and I lived in a shared house with 7 other people, in a house in Cedar Way in Guildford in the UK. I actually lived in the back bedroom of that house that you can see right there. And it was pretty small. It was pretty busy with 7 people there. But I lived in the back bedroom. I was literally at the lowest point in my life. And you can see right there, me lying on a mattress on the floor in this small little bedroom. I was sharing it with my girlfriend at the time, who then became my fiance. We split up not long after that, but that's another story for another day. But that mattress, it was an interesting process. I every single day I'd get up in the morning, I'd take the covers off, I'd take the sheets off, I'd fold them up, I'd put them away, I'd carry a double mattress down the stairs, and I'd put it behind the sofa in the living room. And then I'd go to work in the Carphone Warehouse, which was a mobile phone shop in the UK. I'd come back home after 8-9 hours, and then I'd go back upstairs into my bedroom, but I'd then teach guitar for 3 hours in the same room. And, none of my students realized that it was my bedroom. And then at the end of those lessons, I would then go back down the stairs, pick the mattress up, carry it back upstairs, and make it into a bed again. So I was literally at the lowest point in my life, and I felt pretty down, pretty depressed at the time, and it was not where I wanted to be at all. I enjoyed living there with the people I live with, but I was far from being happy. I live with a guy called Neil Copping. You can see him on the left right there. One of my best friends. I was best man at his wedding. But Neil realised that I was in a bit of a situation, and he obviously wanted more for his life as well. But he went and he obviously met somebody called Paul Newth. And he said to me, he said, Gavin, I know you're struggling for money right now, but I think I've found something. I think I've found something that's going to help us, change our lives. What I'd like to do is take you to the Holiday Inn in Guildford, which is a hotel in Guildford, and meet a guy called Paul, who I've met recently. And I was like, yeah, definitely, it sounds brilliant. I'm up for it. I never, I didn't have any idea what it was about. So, me and Neil went and walked into the Holiday Inn, and Paul was sitting there. He stood up. He's quite a smallish guy. He didn't have any hair. He was quiet and unassuming, and he shook my hand. And we sat down and we had a chat. Neil was there and Paul was there, and Paul started drawing circles. He said, "Oh, this is this, and then you've got this, and if you sponsor these people and bring these people into this business, and you're going to make all this money." And then he says, "Gavin, what would you like for your life? What would you like for your future?" And I said, "Oh, I'd love a guitar. I'd love to go on holiday. I'd love a car. I'd love to live in my own house." And he's like, "Well, you do this and this and this and this and this, and you can have anything you want." And I was like, wow, this is fantastic. I love this idea. And it turns out the business was Amway, which was actually the first business that I got involved in. So, I signed on the dotted line, and I was really excited. Me and Neil went away. We went back home, and a week later, we went back to the Holiday Inn. We met Paul again, and Paul then said, "Okay, if you guys sit down, Gavin, what I'd like you to do is make a list of your 50 to 100 friends and family, and maybe people that you work with, people that you've known. And what we're going to do is we're going to call those people up, and we're going to invite them to a presentation next week. How do you? Is that okay?" And I'm like, "Hang on a second, that sounds a bit weird. Why would I want to do that?" Telling them about some business that I don't really know about. I was pretty apprehensive. I was pretty scared. I was pretty nervous. But I did it with some of the people on my list. I didn't do it with everybody. And I invited many of them, family and friends and relatives, to a meeting that we had then a week later. After I'd gone home that day as well, I also emailed my area manager of the mobile phone shop that I worked in, who I thought, he's going to be great. He's going to know loads of people, because they always say, go write your chicken list, the people that you're scared of contacting, and then contact them. So I did, but I heard absolutely nothing back. And I just thought, well, let's just go to the meeting. So we went to the meeting or the presentation a week later. Many of my family and friends there, and I didn't really know what was going on. And Paul did the presentation, and a couple of them signed up. A couple said, "Yeah, this looks good," but 97% of them didn't. They decided it was not for them, and several of them contacted me later and said, "Gavin, just be careful with what you're doing. It looks like a scam. It looks like a pyramid scheme. It looks like you're going to get burned. I mean, don't do it. Please don't do it, Gavin," kind of thing. And I just thought, weird. I got scared. I got a bit nervous. I got a bit scared at that point, and I thought, I'm not sure if this is for me. I've spoken to everybody I know, and Paul was then saying, go and speak to more people, and I don't know anybody else. What can I do? And I had no clue what to do next. The people that did sign up went and did absolutely nothing. And it just got to the point where I thought, nah, this is not for me at all. And this is like 17 years ago when this happened. So I kind of gave up on that dream, but I never gave up on the dream of having a business for myself. And somehow I got involved in the gambling industry. I used to bet on horses and back and lay horses. And I lost a lot of money, essentially, and I got further and further into debt. Before I did that, I purchased a gambling website. I got a loan from the bank, purchased a gambling website called laytheodds.com, which I think is still around today, for about £5,000, which is $8,000. And I got involved in internet marketing. Now, what you're going to learn a little bit later is internet marketing and network marketing are two completely different beasts or animals, essentially. Completely different. And most network marketers try to use the internet using internet marketing and get completely overwhelmed and frustrated with technology. Well, I got good at internet marketing. I was good at creating capture pages and sales letters and sales funnels and videos, building email lists, selling information products. In fact, I used to make £10,000, £15,000, which close to $20,000 a month, selling information products in the gambling industry. I built an email list of about 40,000 people, had weeks of $10, $11, $15,000. You can see some of the old screenshots there, and this kind of continued for a little while. But the problem was I didn't enjoy what I was doing. I didn't want to be teaching people how to gamble, essentially losing their money. And I got a bit depressed and a bit down. And I used to just lay in bed. I didn't really do anything. I just let the website it didn't grow if I wasn't with it. And I just left it. So it started to die. It started to diminish and the income started to drop. And after a while, I essentially killed the golden goose that laid the golden egg. I got this website that was making me all this money, but I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't passionate about it. I mean, can you imagine doing something like that that's making you like 5 times more than a full-time job, but still not being happy, and then realizing that actually that's not what you want to do, and just kind of letting it happen, and it died. Just before it kind of got to the end of its life cycle, I managed to sell a network of websites, and I was quite fortunate. I got about, I think it was around £100,000 for a network of websites, which was a lot of money. But the stupid thing was, I then went and lived off that money for the next couple of years. This, it's just one of those things. I just lived off that money, and I wish I hadn't at the time. So it was quite funny because around this time I got back. I didn't really know what I was going to be doing, but I somehow got back into kind of network marketing, and there was a company called UVMe. Now, I'm sure you've probably never heard of it. This was 2007, 2008. This all kind of happened around the same sort of time. A little bit of crossover between the gambling sites and this. I think I'd still got the gambling sites, but I joined this company in pre-launch, and it was called UVMe. It was a gaming network marketing type business. It wasn't really network marketing. It was kind of MLM. It seemed a little bit get rich quicky at the time, but it looked good. And I just thought, I had this kind of brainwave. I thought, what if I could use the ideas and the techniques that I've learned in the internet marketing and use the email list that I'd built up of 40,000 people to go and literally smash this business and just sponsor a lot of people. And that's exactly what I did. I used the internet marketing knowledge to go and do this. And you can see right there at the very bottom, it says, just with an underlined red, it says, and Gavin Mountford with our 284 people personally sponsored. And I literally turned into a sponsoring machine because I took the internet marketing knowledge that I gained over the last 3-4 years and used it with network marketing. It was kind of like the dream that I'd always wanted. I didn't have to speak to friends and family. I just used automation pretty much. I didn't have to speak to many prospects. I spoke to a few, but the problem was this business didn't last long. It had gone within 6 to 12 months, and I don't even know what happened, but I lost a lot of money. I was back to square one, and I was pretty frustrated. But I'm one of those people that doesn't let things stop me. So I joined several other businesses, and eventually I joined a company called Pure Leverage. And again, this is going back several years ago. But I thought, I'm going to go and do this again. And I did. I went out and I sponsored a number of people. The big problem was, and this is the big takeaway here, is none of my team were actually duplicating. And you probably know, if you're in a network marketing business or a home-based business, you don't really make much money if your team doesn't duplicate and if you don't grow a big organization. And I had no idea why they weren't duplicating. I was like, what is going on? This is bizarre. And I was out running one of the days, and I just had this light bulb moment, this kind of brainwave. And I just thought, I know exactly why my team aren't duplicating. I pinpointed it. It just came to me. And it was the reason was because I'd had 3, 4, 5 years of internet marketing knowledge, and I'd done it in the gambling sites. I'd made money with that. All the technology I was good at, and I could go out and sponsor people pretty easy using technology. The problem was all of my team could not. Nobody in my team could do what I did. And I was trying to teach them techniques, internet marketing techniques to network marketers, and wondering why they're not building their business. And it's because they were overwhelmed with technology. They had no idea what to do. They were getting frustrated. They were getting annoyed. They were trying to do it, but they weren't getting any results. And at that point, I kind of went back to basics and I thought, right, I need to boil down everything that I know that I've done to sponsor the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that I had, and just make it simple. Create this little 6-step process that I was doing that anybody can do to get results. And that was my idea because, again, probably if you're involved in network marketing that you have to have a duplicatable system in order to make any money, really. I mean, yes, you can make some commissions yourself if you can sponsor people yourself, but the problem is most people can't because you're trying to do the complicated stuff that everybody else is teaching you how to do. That's one of the biggest lies, and I'll tell you that very shortly. But as soon as I'd done this, I made it simple. I gave them a simple system. I finally started to have duplication. I sponsored 28 people in 19 days myself. My team then grew to 183 people in the same 19 days. I was getting emails. It was like one of your downlines has a downline sign up, and then another, and then another. And my team grew to a couple of hundred, then 400, then more and more. And everything changed at that point. I felt like I'd completely cracked it. In fact, you can see it just a couple of team members I worked with many years ago. Angus, who'd sponsored 19 people personally, his team grew to 42 in month one. His income started rising. Beth was the same, sponsored 13 people. Her team grew to 29. But I had and this, these are just two of the people in our team. I had essentially cracked the online network marketing code, kind of using a hybrid between personal relationship building and simple technology. So it wasn't complicated for anybody. It was actually simple and actually easy. You've probably seen right now, in fact, probably you were invited to this webinar by one of our ambassadors or one of our community members in Networking Superstars. And we have literally changed the whole game in network marketing online. It's simple. It's easy. We leverage a little bit of technology, but we focus on high touch. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had 150 applications for our team. Now imagine if you even had 5 or 10 applications for people that want to join you. These are people that came to us to say, yes, I'd like to know more. Yes, I'd like to find a way to work with you. Imagine if you had just a couple of those every week or every couple of weeks or every month, how many new signups you'd be able to get into your business. And these guys, Nicole and Robin and Sarah and Laura and Hannah, and there's many, and you've probably been invited by one or two. They are having incredible results with their Facebook groups and their community and the small little process that we use that's simple that anybody can do in a couple of hours a day. And ultimately, I'm no different to you in any way. I'm just a regular guy who stumbled upon a really effective blueprint. You can see there, that's me with my nan or my nana. She lives in a care home near my dad with my granddad. They're approaching about 95 now, so they're doing absolutely fantastic. But it's great to just kind of see them occasionally. I feel incredibly blessed and fortunate. I live with my 2 children, Lottie and Ben, and my wonderful wife, Pippa. And we're just able to spend time together and do the things that I'd always wanted to do and, live a life of freedom. Went to Live the Dream last year, met up with Mike Dillard and Ray Higdon, Brian Finale. Just had an incredible time with just traveling and living life, not chained to a job or desk. And I know that when anybody can follow this process, anybody can achieve this as well. I took my wife to Kota Kinabalu in Borneo, Malaysia last year. We spent some time with the orangutans, went to Singapore, did some parasailing with multi-millionaire blogger John Chow. It was an extraordinary experience. And, one of the reasons I went there was because my wife had got really bad migraines at the time, and she'd had it for about a year. She was off work. And it got to the point where we tried everything. She was under neurology and cardiology. She was seeing all these doctors. But so we took her away, or I took her away, to help her get better. But unfortunately, she didn't. But then we, probably a couple of months after we came back, she went on a process called the Lightning process in the UK, 3-day course, and she is now completely fixed. incredible process. So if you have headaches or fatigue or anything like that, or migraines or any kind of illness, the lightning process is very, very worth it. But the biggest thing that came out of this is that I've managed to now retire my wife, so she doesn't have to work. She's able to spend time with our children and be there as a mom, which is fantastic. So I'm going to share with you the principles that led me to this life too. I'm going to share with you the secrets that really do work, and ultimately, my success can be your success if you apply these ideas. Let's just break state for a second, because I know that there was a lot to that, but I had to explain it and just let kind of so I can frame the next part. So have a look at the screen. Let me know, who is this? And just let me know what's the first word that comes to your mind, and just type it into the box and let me know. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to see. There we go. Got it, Sarah. So we've got John Lennon, we've got Freedom, we've got Imagine, we've got Revolution. Anybody else got any ideas? I'd love to know. Beatles, Imagine. Just having a look through. Beatles. Yeah, perfect. Peace. Great. All right, so many of you got it, or got the idea that was in my mind, and that is imagine. So I want you to imagine for a second. Imagine waking up first thing in the morning and, go into your mobile phone, if that's what you check your email on or your Facebook on, or go into your computer and just having a look and just seeing all of these people who have come to you. They've raised their hand, that you've got 5, 10, 15, 20 leads overnight. You can follow up with those people. You can speak to them about your business. There's people who want to join your business. You go to your email and you see that you've had some people join you overnight because of the process that you had in place, because of the system, because of your community. I want you to imagine making income from your network marketing business. Imagine the freedom of living life on your terms, going wherever you want to go, with whoever you want to go with, whenever you want to, without ever having to worry about how you're ever going to pay the bills. Imagine being able to go traveling around the world, meet your team, take your partner, take your kids, live the lifestyle of your dreams, and ultimately jet set around the world if you want to, because that is possible. So on this call, you're going to discover the exact 6-step process that you can use right now to take cold leads from the internet, to build them up and warm them up and turn them into brand new signups in your network marketing business like a professional. I'm also going to share with you how you can get more leads, sponsor more reps, and build a bigger team faster without complicated technology, without bugging friends and family, without cold calling leads, and without doing home meetings and coffee shop presentations. You're also going to discover the number one biggest lie that you've probably already been told and probably have already fell for as you try to build your network marketing business in today's internet age. And this is absolutely killer. Okay, so this is important. And then later, as Nicole said before, I'm going to give you a unique opportunity to take advantage of our Networking Superstars Journey to Freedom scholarships. So does that sound exciting to you? Is that something that you would like to learn? Again, just let me know, because it's the only way I've got to communicate with you at the moment. Say, yes, I'd love to know this if you would like to, and just let me know. And then I'm going to jump in and I'm going to go through this. So make sure you've got pen and paper. If you had, bring it on. Sounds great. Yes, please. Yes, please. Whoop, whoop. Yes, definitely. Yes, please. Yes, do. Yes, 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 please. Yes, I'd love to. Please, please, please. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking part and being part of it, because when you do, you get so much more out of it. So let me head over to my screen, and I'm going to draw on the screen. If you've got a pen and paper, make sure you do. Okay, I'm going to assume that you can see my online network marketers blueprint in front of me. If you can't, for any reason, Nicole will come on and let me know. If you've got this as a download, which I gave you a cheat sheet yesterday, I think it was, then grab it. If not, just write this out. Okay, so this is where the good stuff is going to be. Right. All right, awesome. Okay, so let's have a look on the right-hand side here. We call this MSI. MSI, which stands for multiple streams of income. Let me just bring my notepad a little bit closer. Multiple streams of income. Now, the big problem that most people fall for when they come online and they come onto the internet is they start to try to make multiple streams of income before they've made anything else. So we've actually got a model here called the high touch, high tech, high profit process. High touch being person-to-person relationship building, network marketing. The reason you're here tonight is because our ambassadors and community members have worked with you personally. I mean, how many times does that happen if on the internet? It rarely does it? And the reason is because everybody's trying to use high tech. And everybody's trying to use technology and automate the process. That's why nobody's making any money. So what we do is we get rid of the high tech. Most people will tell you to start with technology. You go to a YouTube video, you search how to get more leads online, and you search for how to build your network marketing business. They're all going to tell you, create a capture page, build a sales letter, create a sales funnel, do video, do all this stuff. You do not need to do that yet. That will hold you back. That will stop you getting results. So what we do, we don't even need the high profit process yet. This whole model here is the online network marketer's blueprint. You do not need this whole model yet. I'm going to show you exactly what you need in a second. In fact, there's 6 steps to it. All you need to start getting results, to start generating leads, to start getting sales and signups, to start getting your team and building a team and getting it duplicated. So this here on the right-hand side is your end goal. So we're not going to look at multiple streams of income. All we're going to look at is building your network marketing business. You could call it a direct sales business, a home-based business, an MLM business, a party plan business. The same thing, you've still got to sponsor people. You've still got to get people into your business in order to make money. So there's other streams of income you can make, but we're just going to ignore those for now. We do not need to know them yet. Once you've been through the 6-step sponsoring sequence and you've started to get results, you've built your community and your warm market, you're getting leads on a daily basis, you're sponsoring people often, then you can start to look at the technology. So right now, you do not need to know this bit. You do not need to know this. 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 You do not need to do this. You don't need that. 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 In fact, you do need one of those. Let me just show you. Let me just erase that bit. There is one bit that you do need there. But it's quite liberating, isn't it, to see that actually all the stuff that you're learning and that everybody's teaching you, you do not need to have results. Now, I'm guessing that your end goal right now, your goals, from a business perspective, are probably to get leads on a daily basis. You need to get leads in your business in order to be speaking to more people to get more signups. Ideally, you probably want to get more signups. You sponsor more reps or recruit more reps, and you probably want to earn income on a daily basis or a regular basis in order to, quit your job, essentially. Maybe that's one of your goals. I don't know, but probably. So we don't need half of this. So all we're going to do is focus on the high touch, and you're just going to get in the trenches. If you think about it, network marketing has always been a person-to-person business. Network marketing has worked offline for a long, long, long time. People have built multi-million pound and dollar empires using personal relationships and high touch, personal connection, know, like, and trust, build the relationship. The technology is great for internet marketing, but we are not in internet marketing. We are in network marketing. So if we go back for a second, back to when I was talking to my friends and family when I joined Amway, and they all ran away basically and said, don't do it, it's a scam. Those people, my friends and family, just like your friends and family, they're your warm market. People that know, like, and trust you already. People that that's why people tell you to go to your warm market. But the problem comes is when you run out of warm market, what happens next? Who do you go to? Like, you've probably run out of warm market right now. So essentially, you've got to find a way to build a community online. And you can do that easily. We call it a community. Basically, it is a Facebook group. But this becomes your warm market. Now, we just don't go out and spam links to people. I mean, the reason you're here is because you came into somebody's community, more than likely, and you gradually, they took you through a specific messaging process that we have in place. They've warmed you up. You've become friendly with them, which is perfect. That's all we're trying to do. We don't want to sell everything to everybody. We don't want to even sell anything to anybody sometimes if it's not right. What we're looking to do, what our ambassadors are looking to do, what you need to find out how to do is add value to people's lives so you can actually help them first, lead with value and make a difference in their life, and then they join you in the business. That's how it works online. Completely different, probably, to what you've been told. So you have your Facebook group. In order to build your Facebook group or your community, you've got to feed it. We call this feeder strategy. It's the same as generating traffic, but essentially you've got to feed your community somehow. And again, you could look at all of these different ways to go and build your community. And you can look at Facebook ads, you can look at video, you can look at blogging, but that's all high tech. You don't need it right now. So I recommend focusing on social media. Something like Facebook, something like Instagram, something like Pinterest, something like Twitter. Focus on one platform, get good at it, and start to feed your community. Now, I want you to think for a second that on the internet, you've got a global audience. There are tens of millions of prospects for you. You've also got tens of millions of competitors. Now, if you think that your perfect target market for your network marketing business to become a team member is probably someone that's already in a network marketing company, but they're not getting much help, they're not getting any support, they're struggling. They become your perfect prospect. The problem is, how do you reach them? Well, the step one part of this process, let me just get a different color pen. Step one, how do I even change that now? For some reason, it's, maybe I won't bother with a different pen. Step one part of the process is you've got to create. Without creating content of some kind, nobody is going to find you. And creating content allows you to feed traffic from social media into your community where you capture your lead. And you don't capture your lead on an email list like everybody else is telling you to do. Yes, you can, but that's complicated. Nobody else can do it. You've got to then get really good at writing good capture pages. You've got to get good at technology. Most people can't do it. So why not just get somebody to join your Facebook community, your Facebook group? Pretty simple. And especially when you have a follow-up process afterwards that I'm going to share with you, it is powerful as anything. Now, just take a look at a couple here. You can probably see here, this is an example of a piece of content that Laura wrote a while ago. All she said was, hands up, who wants a Facebook cheat sheet? She had 96 comments from people saying, yes, please, me, please, what is it? I'd like to know. Now, obviously, Laura's been doing this for a little while, but she's getting people through the process. This is an example of creating content. People find her, they join her community, she follows up with them. Here's an example that we did very recently in our Networking Superstars Journey to Freedom community. This one was, it was starting to launch something called our focus groups, which I want you to imagine for a second that if you wanted to get some people into your network marketing business and you wanted to sponsor them, if you could post something like this to get people excited, and if you had 104 people say, yes, please, very exciting, keep me posted, yes, please, definitely yes, I think this is what I need, absolutely yes, I want to know, simply intriguing, yes, please, don't you think that having even a tenth of that would make a huge difference in your life and in your business if you were able to then have a process to sponsor those people? Sarah here, this is going back a while ago, Sarah Allison, one of our ambassadors. Last week we did a challenge. Some of you mentioned you weren't able to do it every day, so I thought I'd type up a challenge and a step-by-step guide for you to print off. This is inside Sarah's community. Yes, please, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. This is engagement. This is part of the process, but this is part of the content creation process. And we now have hundreds of people creating content on a daily basis to bring people into their community. Remember, the community is nothing more than a warm market where you build a relationship with people, you add value, and then when the timing's right, you can speak to them about your network marketing business. Yes, you can capture leads on your email list later. And in fact, I find that once they're in the community first, you can build a relationship easier, and it's so much easier to bring people onto your email list, but you do not need email list right now. Step 3 in the process. So somebody's joined your Facebook group or your community. What do you do next? Well, we have a specific process that we take people through. We call it Connect, where we actually connect with people. Just a brief explanation of the process. When somebody joins our group, we normally get 10 people in a batch. We approve them into our community so they can see that we're the owner of the group. We'll tag them in a welcome message. We'll often send a friend request. And because we're already because they're in our community and they know our name already, they often accept the friend request, and then we can send a first message to open the conversation and build that relationship. Remember, this is high touch. The reason you're here is because somebody reached out to you, or you joined somebody else's group or community, and now you're here. But it shows that this process works, and it shows that we're here to help people. We're not here to automate and just call people numbers, which many people do. So there's a specific connection process, and we also have something called conversation ascension, where we ascend people through a specific conversation where we're building the relationship, but we're moving people closer towards sharing our presentation for our business. Okay, next step in the process is, it's called comment. However, comment is really, it's engagement. Now, what I just shared with you a second ago, I mean, this is an example of engagement. This is one from Nicole. 55 comments. This is engagement, other people engaging. If you owned an email list, when I had an email list of 40,000 people and I sent an email out, I would hear from nobody, not a dicky bird at all. But with Facebook and with engagement and with communities, you build a relationship so much quicker. It is incredibly powerful. And you've probably heard that most people will only join people in a business that they know, like, and trust. This is a piece of content from Sharon Hawkshaw, who literally only just got started. But she was in this video, she'd said that she'd been struggling for so long, and all of a sudden, going through the 6-step process and getting some advice from Hannah, who's her daughter, who I'd been working with as well, she started to get leads on a daily basis, and she started to take people through a process, getting conversations. This is a major, major, major breakthrough. So far we have create, capture, connect, comment, communicate where you actually communicate with purpose with your prospect. It's not like you just get on Facebook or social media and you just have a random chat with people. It's a communication with purpose, which means that you're leading people through the process, ultimately to show your presentation to them. But if they don't join you in that business, they can join you in something else. And then we move to close, where we close people into the business. Now, this is a 6-step process. And if you've never done this before, it's going to take you a couple of days, a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months to learn it and get good at it. Because like anything, it takes a bit of time, doesn't it? But repetition is the mother of skill. And you may have seen this video that I've done before with the Online Network Marketers Blueprint. Repetition is the mother of skill. Tony Robbins said that. Many other top marketers said that. So create, capture, connect, comment, communicate, close. Create, capture, connect, comment, communicate, close. It becomes simple. If you want to find a way to build a warm market up, people like your friends and family that become people that are going to be interested in your business. You build a small little community. Anybody can do this, and I'm going to show you how and why very, very shortly. But this process is very, very, very powerful. And again, as I said, this was just one example. In fact, I've probably got here, you can probably see here, focus group applications, 152 applications we had in about a 7-day period. We had about 100 applications in 3 days. Probably see the dates here: March 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Imagine if you could have just 5 people come to you and say, yes, I'd like to know more about working closer with you. Please let me know. Now, if you were to sponsor 5 or 10 of those people and then teach them how to do this, and all of a sudden now you had 30 or 40 applications, and then people come into you, and then they join you, and you teach them this process. This is what's happened with us. Our team has gone out and grown and grown and duplicated and grown and duplicated and grown, and now we're getting 150 applications in a week. I mean, how powerful is that? And again, everybody that has come through, the people that have invited you here tonight have been through this process themselves. They've started from scratch. They've learned this. And there's a couple of other things I wanted to share with you before we move on. Let me just grab my other file. That is this. If you want to know why you've probably struggled and maybe failed up until now, it's because of this. The 4 stages of learning, and you can look it up in Wikipedia as well. The 4 stages of learning, and it just goes into a bit more detail. But essentially, what happens with anything, you start off here. You know nothing about the topic or the subject. So imagine the 6-step sponsoring sequence. You've joined. Let's just imagine, and you've no idea what it is. You don't know that. You maybe don't realize right now that you have a problem. That your problem is the fact that you can't generate leads, or maybe you can, but you can't convert those leads into sales and signups. Or maybe you can get sales and signups, but you can't get them as team members or duplicate. But right now, there's probably a problem that you don't realize. So you're unconsciously incompetent. You don't realize that you're not good at something. So when you first get exposed to the 6-step sponsoring sequence that I'm showing you now, you might think, oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. But you don't really realize the power of it. Okay, so once you've been through it, and it's like learning to drive. The first time I got in a car, I didn't have a clue. Yes, I'd heard of a clutch and an accelerator and the brake. I'd heard of a handbrake and a gear stick, but I didn't really know what it was. So I was unconsciously incompetent. Once I get in the car and drive it a couple of times, I start to realize that I've also got to do the mirrors. I've got to slow down at the right time. I've got to look left. I've got to look right. I've got to look in my, mirror signal maneuver, etc., etc. And you start to become consciously incompetent. So now you start to get frustrated. You might be in that position now. You're trying to build your business online or offline, network marketing business, but you can't. You try something and nothing happens. Nothing works. It doesn't happen. You're getting frustrated, but you're aware of the fact that you don't know, that you know that you don't know. Most people give up. This here says 99% of people give up between the first 2 levels. Okay? Success happens afterwards. 1% of people continue. They keep going. They get to consciously competent. Now, we have many of our ambassadors now in Networking Superstars that have been through the 6-step sponsoring sequence at least once, that do it on a daily basis, that get leads every single day, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 leads a day. They take people through the conversation. They build the relationship. They speak to people. They sponsor people. Their team is duplicating. They know how to do it. They're conscious, but they're still thinking about it. They're going through the steps and they're going, oh yeah, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. Once you get to mastery, it's unconscious competence. You don't even think about it. You just do it in different orders. You mix it up. You change it around. You know it so well, you don't have to think about it. So last thing I want to share with you in this respect, does that make sense, just out of interest? Just leave me a comment and let me know if that makes sense. If you've got any questions, we can always answer them later, but let me know. So this here is your journey to freedom. Your journey to freedom being quitting your job, living the life of freedom, retiring your partner or your friend or your parents, spending more time with your children, living the life of your dreams, going traveling, buying a house that you're proud of, having a car that you feel good in and that you look good in. So remember, when you first start this, again, let's just imagine you've now joined Networking Superstars, you're a member of the 6 steps and you're going through it. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. Firstly, you don't realize that you need to create content. And all of a sudden you do realize, actually, I'm not succeeding because I'm not creating content. Then you start to capture a few leads. And all of a sudden you realize, well, actually at this point, you're still not really sure. You don't really know what you don't know. So create, capture, connect, comment, communicate, close. You go through 6 weeks of the process, 6 weeks of the journey, and you're kind of fumbling. You go through it, you watch it, but you don't really realize the power of it. You implement it, you might not get any results yet. You create a piece of content, nobody comments on it. You create another piece of content, you get 1 or 2 comments on it. You might get a couple of people into your community or into your group in every 3 or 4 days. You connect and nobody replies. Okay? Starting to get a bit frustrated, not quite working yet. You get some engagement, 1 or 2 people, but you're still seeing people like myself and like our other ambassadors getting 100 comments and engagement and getting 20, 30, 40, 50 applications. Why can't you do that? Okay, it's because you're unconsciously incompetent. Communicate, close. Then we repeat the process again. Maybe take a couple of weeks break, let the learning sink in, and then we repeat it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly the same again. Now you become consciously incompetent. Well, last time I went through create, I wasn't very good at it, but now I understand it because I've seen the big picture. Now it makes sense. Create, capture, connect, comment, communicate, close. Now you're getting 3, 4, 5 leads a day. You're connecting with 2 or 3 people. They're speaking back to you. You're getting engagement. You're building relationships. You're communicating. You're getting on the phone with people. You're doing getting to know you calls. You're speaking to them. You're sharing your presentation. You might not be getting any signups, or you might be getting some signups, but you're getting better. You're on the journey. Now, most people, not necessarily with the 6 steps, because we understand this and we can coach you through this, but most people would give up at these stages and go and jump to another company or another product or service or another training and think, oh, that doesn't work. You know, well, I'm going to go and find something else that does. It's because you were literally 3 feet from gold and you stopped. Conscious competence, you get good at it. Now you create content. You get 5, 10 people coming, clicking on your content, watching your video, watching your status update, maybe commenting on it. You get 3, 4, 5, 10 people joining your community every single day. Okay, you connect, you get engagement, you communicate, you start to sponsor people, and now your team duplicates. This is powerful stuff. This is deep psychology that nobody will ever teach you. And then you get unconsciously competent. This is like some of our ambassadors now. They don't need to think about what they do, but you go through it again. So you're kind of looking about, you want to repeat this process 3, 4 times before you get good. You know, for me, it took me probably a year to get good at driving, to be able to do it unconsciously without having to think about it. And you can just get in the car now and drive from A to B, and you don't even realize that you've gone from A to B, and you're there, you've talked to people, you've chatted, you've thought about things. Unconscious competence. When I first got in the car, I couldn't even move an inch because I didn't know which pedal to press until my instructor told me. So this is your journey to freedom. This is the process that you're on right now. And if you're willing to commit to this, I promise you, everything is there for you, and you can have whatever you want as part of this process. So again, let me know if that does make sense. I'm going to shift back to my slides. Let me just double check that it all makes sense. Yeah, crystal clear, understand. Yes, 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 yes. All right, awesome. Fantastic. I'm glad you're with me. Okay, let's jump to the slides again. Hopefully you'll be able to see the slides. There's a couple of things I wanted to share with you. Let me just make sure you can get the slides. Okay, I'm assuming you can see the slides. Again, Nicole will let me know if you can't. But let me just share with you the biggest lie that you'll be told as you try to build your network marketing business in today's internet age. I've talked about it briefly, but this really is, it's a big problem. There's 2. Number 1 is that you need to use technology to build your business. You need to automate everything. You need to set up capture pages, sales letters, blogs, sales funnels, email lists. You do not need to do any of that right now. That's what's going to keep you stuck. If you try to do all that, that's what's going to keep you frustrated, banging your head against a brick wall and not having success. The second lie that you're often told is that you need to capture leads on an email list. I believe that is kind of outdated. Yes, it's very beneficial if you do it later, but the easiest way, all you're looking for is somebody's contact details so you can follow up with them, so you can have a conversation with them. If they're in your Facebook group or your community, you've got their details and you can basically follow up with people. I mean, think about email right now. If somebody emails you, do you ever reply back to them? Probably not. And none of your prospects will either. So essentially, this is just a small part in the answer to your big problem. The bottom line is that if you keep doing what you're doing right now, you are going to fail. There's no doubt about that. And just because it just repeats itself, you've got one big problem, and that is that you probably haven't got a clue, with all respect, how to build your network marketing business on the internet yet. Okay, if you continue to do what you're doing, you're going to be frustrated with getting no leads, annoyed you're getting 0 signups or no duplication in your team, making little to no money, going further and further into debt, feeling frustrated and overwhelmed, wasting time, and ultimately having to work in your job longer, meaning you're probably not able to spend the time doing the things you want to do. And I don't want that for you at all. The good news, this problem has been solved. It's been mapped out, it's been documented, and it's been blueprinted, and it's called the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro. The 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro teaches you the exact step-by-step process that you can use right now to take cold leads from the internet, to warm them up and turn them into brand new signups in your network marketing business like a professional. This radically simple yet effective online sponsoring sequence will work for you even if you're just a beginner, just getting started, if you've never generated leads before, if you're scared of technology, if you don't want to pester your family and your friends, and if you don't have a warm market of people, maybe you've bugged your family and friends just like I did many years ago and they said no. If you've been doing this for 5 years, if nothing has worked for you yet, if you're a brand new newbie network marketer that's just getting started, and if you've never made money online before, or if you think you've tried everything, this will work for you. Now, before I tell you what the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence is, I first need to tell you what the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence is not, so there's no false expectations. So the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro is not a network marketing business. It's not an opportunity in itself. It's not a fly-by-night, here today, gone tomorrow system. It's not a piece of software that's going to do everything for you. It's not a push-button system that's going to earn you $1 million overnight. You've been lied to enough, I'm sure. It's time to stop chasing the shiny objects, from jumping around. It's time to get focused and commit to your journey to freedom. Rather, the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro is the direct result of many years of study and years of getting in the trenches to find out what really works. This passionate research, you can probably hear I'm quite excited and passionate, this has revealed specific patterns that the truly successful internet marketers or internet network marketers do that nobody knows about. And starting today, their success can be your success. The success patterns that I've studied and successfully duplicated give you the freedom to easily get new leads, sponsor new reps, and build your network marketing business in as little as 2 hours per day around your existing commitments, all whilst you take more time off, enjoy your life, spend more time with your loved ones, and finally begin to build the successful business that you absolutely deserve. Now, before we go any further, it's only fair that I be 100% honest with you. And hopefully that's okay, and I'm sure you're fine with that. But if you're looking for that magic pill, that make money answer, if you just want another network marketing lead generation system, you just want to get rich quick, or some kind of business opportunity that you already know will never ever work for you, and you kind of know that intuitively, please leave this webinar right now, because this is not for you, and there is no way you're going to qualify for this. Not a chance. Okay? This is not for get rich quickers. In short, the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro is the real deal. It's only for people like you who are really serious about their future. Now, what we've done is we've made network marketing online as simple as humanly possible. So whilst building your network marketing business isn't easy, because nothing worthwhile is, this makes it more of a snap. So if you really want to have new leads every single day to present your business opportunity to, if you want to build a warm market of interested prospects who are practically begging to join your business, just like you saw we have done with many of ours, know exactly what to do in a simple step-by-step paint-by-numbers process, sponsor more reps in a month more than most people do in an entire year, whilst working half as much because you're working smarter, get your team duplicating fast instead of waiting for months, hoping and praying that your team is going to take action, then the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro isn't just a solution for you, it is the only solution for you. Elmar, one of our ambassadors now, this is going back a while ago when he first started, he says, "Hey Gavin, I hope you're fine. Very exciting news. I've been working very hard the last couple of weeks to implement everything that I've learned, and right now my community, or Facebook group, has grown to 94 people, and I still have over 10 people that I need to approve. I'll do that later today. Also, engagement is growing. I have one post with 20 comments on it. 8 of them are mine, replying to others, and 12 comments. Nicole, who you heard from before, hey Gavin, I had to write this with an update for you. I'm here reflecting back on my results from this part of the year, and I'm absolutely floored. I'm just so grateful I found you and Networking Superstars and implemented the 6-step sponsoring sequence so I could grow my business online. Now, this is the bit that really got me when Nicole said this, and she said this to me personally as well, but I truly believe that you've saved me from having to go back to work away from my children. And that, to me, is why we do what we do, to help you achieve your goals and your dreams. Thanks to the 6-step sponsoring sequence and your generous guidance, I've grown my community to over 1,200 people, which I think now is 1,500. In 6 months' time, she's grown her monthly income by several $100s on a weekly basis, not to mention the 100 plus affiliate sales she's made over the last 6 months. Nicole also has generated probably 30 or 40 applications in a week. She's been speaking to people like crazy. She's sponsoring people very, very often. I think she was on the leaderboards for her company very, very recently, and she's getting duplication in her team, all because of this process. So it works if you work it. Jack said, I just had to say how connecting with new members in my community is fantastic. This week I've had 18 new members who are all in conversation with me, excited comments on the welcome posts, and members welcoming members who were ready to share and learn. On my first teaching post in a series of 7, I had a lovely message of thanks, which she then attached. Laura, one of our ambassadors as well, she said, good morning. I know you're not working today, but I wanted to share my excitement. I just did my second welcome post this week in my group, 20 new members added from 2 teaser posts on my Facebook profile. Hit the 100 member mark too. Might not seem a lot to anyone else, but I am super chuffed that my hard work is paying off. This is going back several months ago. Laura, I think, has got 500-600 members in her community right now. She is on fire, literally. You also saw that she gets like 50, 60, 70, 80 comments on some of her posts, all because of the process. Sarah said, one of our ambassadors with, I think, probably 1,200-1,300 people in her community now. Hey, Gavin, I hope you're well. I just wanted to share this with you. I'm so excited. I decided to run a short boot camp in my group, and I've got nearly 50 people working closer with me. 50 people. I still can't believe it. Thank you so much. So this process works. So let me introduce to you the 6-step sponsoring sequence pro. This is the exact step-by-step process that you can use right now to take cold leads from the internet and turn them into brand new signups in your network marketing business like a professional. Let's take a look at what you'll receive with the 6-step sponsoring sequence pro. This is a 6-week coaching program. There's actually 7 weeks, but I give you the extra week as a bonus that will show you exactly how to build your network marketing business online. And I may give you a sneak peek in the back office in a little while, but module 1 it's called Magnetic Content Creator. And we go into detail about how you create content to drive people into your community, because creating magnetic content to attract prospects to you is the #1 key skill for all professional online network marketers. Content that gets engagement. In this module, you'll learn the art of micro persuasion to create perfect social media content, so you can drive traffic to your community to generate leads and build a warm market for your network marketing business. Valued at $297. Module 2 is called Community Capture Code 2.0, which goes into step 2 of our 6 steps. So when you've done what you've probably done and what I certainly did and bugged your friends and family, and most of them said no, they said it's a scam, I don't want to be part of it. You've exhausted your warm market. What do you do next? Well, this module is going to show you exactly how to generate leads by building your brand new warm market of prospects from scratch who are desperate to join your business, buy your products, and work closer with you. Value $297. Module 3 is called $1 Million Connector. Step 3 of the 6 steps. As soon as your leads are in your community, you've got incredible posture with them because they've come to you to join your group, meaning that you have an audience of people who desperately wants to hear from you. In this module, you'll learn the specific 4-step $1 Million Connector method and also our conversation ascension. You'll get the whole blueprint of the right exact messages to send to your prospects to warm them up and take them through the process, which will ensure you prime your prospects ready to join your business later. Valued at $297. Module 4, Social Engagement Superstar. Step 4 of the process, because engagement is critical to your success, and the more engaged your prospects are in your community, the closer they're getting to join your business. So when you get people commenting and engaging and sending you messages, you're going to learn how to use engagement to your advantage to literally create a horde of raving fans, all desperate to become part of your team. $297 in value. Module 5 is called Master of Conversation, which is step 5 is communicate. Most people have no structure when they speak to their prospects on social media. They waste a lot of time in the process. In this module, you'll learn how to communicate with purpose by using my 6-step conversation ascension blueprint. This will allow you to take cold leads from the internet and turn them into brand new signups in your primary opportunity easily. Value 297. Now, the thing that most people don't teach you is how to actually sponsor people and how to get them to duplicate. Step 6 is called close. And sales, if you think about it, is the highest paid skill in the world. Once you know how to do it, you can command any amount of money you want. Combine this with network marketing and you'll be laughing all the way to the bank. When you crack the code of sponsoring on demand, you can have anything that you want. This module, you're going to learn the little art of the consultative approach, where you're going to learn to become a master of sponsoring without selling. Plus, you get much, much more, including video recordings for life, 6 live question and answer sessions, and a full over-the-shoulder strategy module to show you how everything works. The strategy module, I believe, is worth as much as the entire course is. There's 8 specific stages that you have to take your prospect through before you can sponsor them into your network marketing business. Most people go straight to stage 7. And they miss out everything else, and they wonder why they're not getting any signups in their business. So you've probably noticed that the 6-step sponsoring sequence pro is by far the easiest method to follow. It allows you to get more leads, sponsor more reps, and build a bigger team much faster than you're currently doing. The results come fast too. And this is probably the only reference that I'm going to make to money, because money can create challenges. Many people join because they think, I'm going to make all this money, and they get really excited, and then they don't, and they get down and depressed, and they give up, and that. I don't want to do that. All I'm going to do is show you a couple of my results, show you that this process works. Now, remember, I've been doing this for 11 years. I've been in network marketing for 17. I can give you the fast track and the shortcut, but I have to give you an income disclaimer to say that actually you may never, ever make money, because it's completely up to you. So what I'm giving you will give you the keys to the kingdom, literally, but you've got to do some work as well. It's not just going to come to you. So you can probably see here, $21,000 in 30-day period. This was in more of a high-ticket business, but I still use this process. $8,000 commission, $5,000 commission, $3,000 commission, $1,000 commission, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000. I mean, just imagine being able to make even a percentage of that, and maybe that would make a huge difference. Again, you can see different amounts: $12,700, $1,000, $8,710, $1,838, $9,000. These are all commissions from online businesses. Chris said, good morning. What would it be like to wake up this morning, log into your back office and see an $8,000 commission in there? That's what happened to Gavin Mountford this morning. He's on track for $13,000 for the last 30 days as well. And this is selling affiliate products and making commissions through selling information products. $1,000 in a day, $861, $1,547, $7,136, and again, some more there, just multiple streams of income. But this process works when you work it, and it's incredibly powerful. And I have to give you that disclaimer, and I didn't want to show you that specifically. I wanted to show you it to inspire you, not to brag or to say, hey, look at me, because if you've known me for any length of time, hopefully you'll realize that I'm not that type of person at all. But sometimes people need to see that actually the person you're listening to has had a lot of success before you can kind of digest what they have to say. So, you may believe that a system that can show you how to do all this would cost a lot of money in itself. And in all honesty, it really should. After all, this system has been responsible for income days of up to $12,000. And, the great thing with this process, you can outsource it to other people because there's message templates and you can craft it for yourself. So once you start getting team members, or you've got a partner or a friend or somebody that wants to do it, you can give it to them and they can do it. It's duplicatable. My wife, Pippa, actually does some of my work for me. She does a lot of this following the process that I gave her, and she earned $12,000. Never had any experience in online marketing before, but she followed the templates that I gave her. I closed the people on the webinar, and that was just obviously the process that we used. But yeah, she made a commission, and she was absolutely ecstatic. So I'll get to the price in just a few moments. But before I do, I just want to share a few other unique benefits that this one-of-a-kind system will deliver to you. Everything complicated is literally eliminated. It's gone. That's why this is so powerful. We focus on high touch, not high tech. You want to get more leads? Yes. Build a warm market? Yes. Sponsor more reps? Yes, you can. Your team will duplicate? Yes, it will. Simple, straightforward 6-step process that you can do in as little as 2 hours per day from the comfort of your own home without complicated technology. Yes, you can. Now, I've proven that network marketing online can be and should be enjoyable. And I want to share those secrets with you too. The price of the 6-step sponsoring sequence pro sold by itself is valued at $1,782. But you're not just receiving the 6-step sponsoring sequence pro today, because when you take action and you go through the 6 steps, I'm also going to give you free of charge these value added bonuses to help you build your business online even faster. You're going to get bonus number 1, Social Media 7 Community Traffic System, valued at $297. 3 of our incredible ambassadors, Nicole Hanshy, Robin Smith, and Hannah Kathleen, will show you how they're getting 20 to 30 leads a day in their communities by combining 7 different social media traffic sources together, and how you can do the same. This is incredibly powerful stuff. Bonus number 2, the 6-step sponsoring sequence blueprint. This is powerful. You get the whole strategy, which has the 8 different stages that you have to take your prospect through before you can sponsor them. But underneath each of the videos in the modules, you'll also get written instructions on exactly how to do this as well, including the conversation ascension message follow-up templates for all the messages and exactly what to say and do to sponsor people into your business. Value $297. Bonus number 3. Networking Superstars School weekly webinars. Now, we run these every week anyway, but you're invited on them. As you start to get better at doing this, we'll invite you on the calls. You can actually be on them like some of our ambassadors are right now, but we will also answer your questions specifically on these calls. So kind of like question and answer calls as well, and possibly have your community, so as you build your own Facebook group and community, actually showcased live in front of others. Now imagine that, having 50 to 100, maybe more people seeing your group and your community and potentially come into it, that you can take through the process. $297. You can also apply for our ambassador program. On completion of the course, you'll have the opportunity to join our extraordinary ambassadors, just like you've seen, and probably the people that invited you here. They're climbing the ranks inside of Networking Superstars. They're being given more exposure, more opportunities to grow as people, to train and teach other people. They're now creating trainings of their own. They're in their own communities. They started exactly where you are right now, right from scratch. But this is the only way to become an ambassador, to go through our process and program. We don't just have anybody becoming ambassadors, because what's the point of that? We have people that have earned it and deserved it, and that's why we do this process. Value $497, plus you will get access to community instant viral exposure. One of the fastest ways to kickstart your community is by having somebody in authority promote you to their audience. So when you take action today, complete the trainings, get some small results, we're going to interview you, we're going to showcase you on our blog, which is going to result in massive traffic and exposure for you, which you can then leverage that. You can warm those people up, you can generate the leads, you can speak to people and sponsor them into your business, and ultimately make an income from that. So you can see why the 6-step sponsoring sequence pro is valued at $4,061 in total, even without the bonuses. This is an absolute steal. If you bought the bonuses by themselves today, your total investment would be over $1,885. So just for watching this webinar, I've got a much better deal coming your way in just a second. Just keep watching because this will not last much longer. Make sure you stick around. We'll go for probably about another 20 minutes and then we'll be wrapped up. But yes, you could walk away right now. You could chance it. You could keep going down the road that you're on right now and doing the same thing, getting the same results, banging your head against a brick wall, and end up spending 10, 20, even 100 times more than the investment that you'll make today in the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro. Because if you think about it, you'll have to go and buy lots of other courses to get the same knowledge. And nothing will ever come close to what you're going to learn from this. I promise you, this is one of the most complete trainings and courses that you'll ever go through. It's like filling in that final piece of the jigsaw. Maybe you'll give all those leads and prospects that you're leaving on the table away to somebody else, probably one of us, because we have the process down, because you don't know how to build your business correctly. Let's not talk about the fact that time's going by and you're getting older every day, just like I am, just like we all are. And these opportunities do not come along very often. You've got to be in the right place at the right time. And I truly believe you are right now. And that's not what I want for you. I'm ready to make this a no-brainer, easy decision for you today. And I feel you deserve to know why I'm offering you such a discount. You probably, if you've looked at the Networking Superstars website, you may realize that we set an inspiring goal. Let me share our vision with you. This is a cause I'm inviting you to join today, along with the thousands of others who are ready to become financially independent, to live life on their terms instead of being told what to do by a boss, to travel the world, to enjoy life and spend more time with the people that they love. Above all, share your new knowledge and experience with the world and teach and train other people. At Networking Superstars, we're dedicated to helping at least 10,000 entrepreneurs become financially free over the next 10 years. Bring back a partner from work, essentially. We call it the 10,000 Family Freedom Project. Since then, we've helped hundreds of people get their first leads, sponsor their first reps, make their first commissions online. And many others have gone on to build very successful businesses as well. Just think about how much joy that would create. Bringing home somebody from work, quitting their day job, allowing your spouse to retire, helping a friend or a family member. How many happy families would that bring together so they could spend more time with each other, doing things that they want to do, not tied to a boss all the time? How many other people would this inspire, and how many people would be inspired by this cause? The bottom line is that I've decided that we absolutely want to let as many people as possible join in this cause. And the good news is that this means a much lower price for you because I wanted you to join the journey. I don't want finances to stop you or anybody else. And it means that you won't even come close to paying $4,000 for the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro. Today and today only on this webinar, it won't even come close. It's not even going to be half that price. It's not even going to be $1,500. Your total investment today, including the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro, plus all the bonuses that you now see on the screen and that I've shared with you, is only $997. That is it. To go through the 6-step trainings, to go through the blueprint, the strategy, and have everything in place to have the results you've always wanted in your network marketing business. Once you've invested, you're going to be enrolled on the course, starting immediately. The course is done, it's ready, it's there. You can go through, you can start getting your first leads immediately. If you decide that this program is not right for you, no problem at all. We'll refund you within 30 days. You know who I am, you know where we are. We're building a reputable business. My word is law. Okay, so if you go to this link right now and just have a look at that page, networkingsuperstars.com/special, networkingsuperstars.com/special to claim your discounted price right now. You'll see a big buy button right there. It says only $997. You'll be able to click on that and buy now. Let me just pause for 1 second before you go to that page. In fact, you can go to that page. It's live. It's there. And you'll see exactly what you get as part of this program. Okay, go there, have a look, but don't buy just yet. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. You've probably heard this already. We currently have 30 Journey to Freedom scholarships available, and you may qualify for one. We want to pay this forward to you. We've seen we've seen how we can change people's lives by paying it forward to them. They then go and make a difference. This is powerful stuff, but we currently have 30 scholarships available that you may qualify for. And essentially, your Journey to Freedom scholarship means a $700 discount off your tuition fees. You have to earn it, and it's not just given out to anybody. If you really want this, firstly, I need to know that. So there's a process that we'll go through in a second. Just type into the box if you'd like a scholarship. Just let me know if it's something that you would want to go through this. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people saying, yes, 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 send me info. I want this. Yes, I'd love it. I'd love it. Sounds good. Yes. Perfect. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Would love. Okay, keep coming, keep coming. I'll tell you the process in a second. What I'll do, I just want to bring Nicole on because Nicole has, I gave Nicole a scholarship a while ago, and she's given several out now. You know, some of our ambassadors, the people that have invited you here, have been given a scholarship essentially, and now the results that they're having and the success that they're having is amazing. What I'm going to do before I give Nicole this is what I'd like you to do, because I can see that there's a load of people that want this now. I need you to do something first. If you go to, I'm going to bring Nicole in a second whilst you do this. I'll give you 2 minutes to do this first. But if you go to Facebook very quickly and go to Networking Superstars Journey to Freedom Community, Networking Superstars Journey to Freedom Community, and just go there right now. Hopefully you're already a member. If you're not, go and request to become a member, and Sarah or Laura will approve you very, very quickly. But you're going to need to be in that community to be at least to even be considered for the scholarship. So go there now. Let me just bring Nicole on very quickly. In fact, you can probably bring yourself on, Nicole, if you wanted to just unmute.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Yeah, I just thought it might be a good idea for you just to share a few words about your experience, and you know the fact that originally I saw something in you that huge potential, and now you've gone on to create a community of close to 1,500 members. You're sponsoring people every single week. You're making multiple streams of income. Your team is duplicating, but I know you have now gone on to offer scholarships to people as well.
Absolutely. It's my favorite thing to do because I just remember what it felt like the day that you offered me, a scholarship to work more closely with you, and kind of how that has impacted my business. It was really the turning point for me, in all honesty, and it's what made the difference, all the difference, to lead me where I am now. So being able to pay that forward to people is something that I just, it's hard to describe. It's just the best feeling in the world, being able to help people that, we're all working hard. You're working hard, and a lot of people don't realize that. That's not always the mentality out there. We understand that. We understand that you're working hard for this, but that, you may have restrictions. I mean, obviously you're trying to do this to make more money, make a better life for your family, and we want to make this possible for you because we know this works. You're going to get results right away. I've got a really large team of people now that I'm working with, who are all going through this course, and just to see the excitement and to hear, the tears of joy. I mean, that level of excitement and joy, and just seeing people get results right away and finally feeling like, gosh, I can do this. Being able to give that to somebody, that's absolutely priceless, Yeah, and it's just, showing people and empowering them that they can really do this, because you absolutely can do this. You just haven't had the right vehicle. And I'm telling you guys, this is it. I've been doing this for almost a year now. I'm not going to stop doing this. I'm anytime soon. And I'm going to keep paying it forward to people, as many people as, really want to have results and make that difference in their business.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And let's do this then. So if everybody's in the group right now, I'm going to do something. Don't do this yet, but what I need you to do in a second, I'm going to show you on screen. I'm going to post something in the group. Whether you're going to invest or not, you need to be, because you might decide that you want to later anyway. You need to be on that list quickly. Okay, so I need you to type into either, well, just remember this or write it in Notepad right now. I'd like my $700 scholarship, please. In a second, I'm going to post something in the group, and you're going to need to refresh the Facebook group, and you're going to see my post, and you're going to have to type, I'd like my $700 scholarship, please. And the last time we did this, it went incredibly fast. It went boom, 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 boom. All the people that were typing. So let me do that right now. I'm just going to come back. I'm going to bring up the group. You'll see me do it in a second. You don't need to take action just yet. Just make sure you're in the group and you're ready and you're waiting. I'm just going to head over there now. Let me share my screen. In fact, one second. Share screen, click play. Okay, you can probably see my screen right now. Okay, so make sure you're there right now. Make sure you're ready. You're over there. I'm going to post this in a second. I'm going to give you the countdown. So I'll wait a little bit longer to make sure you're there. And there's a specific process that's going to happen. The post that I'm going to post in a second in the group says, hey, Rising Superstars, if you're on the webinar right now, congratulations. You've pre-qualified for your Journey to Freedom $700 scholarship, which is incredibly exciting. The first step to getting your scholarship is to let us know in the comments below and say, I'd like my $700 scholarship, please. Do it fast as you can, because last time we did this, we had people commenting very, very quickly indeed. Once you've commented, here's how the process will work, and I'll show you what to do after you've done this, but you've got to be in this, you've got to be in the comments if you want to be part of this process. Each month we have, or every couple of months really, we have a limited amount of scholarships to give out. Okay, so are you ready? And once I've posted this and you've posted, I will go through this exactly what to do next in order to get this. Or if you want to, you could go to the sales letter right now and you could invest the 997. But I think it makes sense to see if you can qualify for the scholarship. All right, so I hope you're ready. At the top of the group, as soon as I press post, you need to refresh the group, refresh the page, and post, I'd like my scholarship, I'd like my scholarship, I'd like my scholarship. So here we go. All right, everybody ready? This is exciting stuff. I hope you're ready for this. Okay, here we go. So 3, 2, 1, post. Okay, go for it. Hopefully you're going to see this post right here and you're going to be able to comment on it. Okay, I'd like my scholarship, please. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I'd like my $700 scholarship. We've got some fast people on here. I'd like my $700 scholarship. Keep coming, Fiona, Shelley, Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Shell, John, Shelley, Janelle, Debbie, Shauna, Mel, Brooke, Isabel, Christina, Ricky, Lila, Sarah, Michelle, Michael, Helen, Beth, Bethan, Tracy, Cassie, Tanya, Louise. Remember, you've got to be in it. You've got to be commenting here now to make sure you are at least there. Just get your application in and we can talk about options. Sarah, Tracy, Laura, Maswenksi, I apologize about pronouncing your name, Samantha, Sharon, Sheila, Sally. Awesome. I'm pretty sure it's going to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. Congratulations on taking that decision and moving forward. What you're going to want to do next is, let me, on this post, you're going to see, once you've commented, go back to the post and have a look at the instructions. This is the process that we use. Go to networkingsuperstars.com/new. networkingsuperstars.com/new. Okay, I'll go to that page now. I'm going to do this and then I want to show you in the back office of the trainings just so you can see. But we've opened up the scholarship applications. There's 3 days on the countdown timer, but you want to do it as soon as possible because once we've done with these 30 scholarships, that's it. We're not bringing anyone else in, so you need to make sure you're in before then. So we've got the countdown timer on right now, but you need to come here, read this page, have a little look around, watch the video. It's a short video. And submit your application and start your journey to freedom with us. Okay, so you've got your application here. Yes, there's a few questions on it. It's detailed for a reason. It's detailed because we want to weed out the non-serious people from the start. As I said before, we only want to work with serious people that want to have success. Okay, this is not get rich quick. This is for you if you're in a network marketing business that you're struggling, that you need to find a way and a process that you can work every single day. Okay. Once you've done that, the person that referred you here, probably your ambassador that referred you, the community member or the person that referred you, you'll then have a 10, 15, 20-minute mini interview, a kind of a chat with that person. And if your application is accepted, you'll be contacted by the person that referred you to schedule that call. And then once you've done that, you'll receive your scholarship and you'll make your investment. If you're accepted, you'll receive your $700 scholarship to put towards your purchase of the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro, and you'll receive a coupon code that will last for 24 hours to claim your scholarship. So make sure you do that now. I just want to show you, I'll come back to the screen slides in a second, then I want to hear from a couple of people. Let me just show you in the back office here. This is the actual course here. We've got 6-Step Sponsoring. This is the core training program. You can see here 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence Pro blueprints that I'll show you in a second. Magnetic Content Creator, which goes into detail. Community Capture Code Module 2. $1 Million Connector. Social Engagement Superstar. Master of Conversation. Consult, Sponsor, and Repeat. If we go into here, I just wanted to show you the blueprints because I didn't really talk about it much before, but this is worth as much as the course in itself. Have a look here. These are 8 stages that you need to take your prospect through before you can sponsor them into any network marketing business. And when you get this, it becomes like clockwork. We've got the big picture pre-training. We've got personal branding. We've got how to set up your Facebook group. We've got how to use our prospecting spreadsheet. Then we go through the stages. Stage 1, approve, welcome, and first message. Which shows you the process once you've got people in your community. Conversation Ascension Message Blueprint. Inside these instructions are all the message templates that you can use. We have reciprocation, giving something of value. Stage 3. Stage 4, 10-minute getting to know you call, the GTK call. Stage 5, send in your private invite teaser message so somebody can watch your business opportunity presentation. Stage 6, the 5-minute sizzle call. I go through in detail how to do this. Stage 7, send the presentation to your business opportunity. And stage 8 is the 3-way call or the question and answer call to sponsor somebody into your business. That is literally, I mean, just look at the power. That in itself is worth more than the course by far. This is the exact process you need to take people through. Magnetic Content Creator. I'm not going to go through all of these, but just to show you very quickly. Magnetic Content Creator, how to create your daily content creation plan. The feeder teaser method for generating leads. We've got the cart method and the daily expert plan. We've got how to break through the content brick wall. We've got how to curate content, make it your own. The 7 perfect Facebook status updates and bonus tip. There's about 2 hours of training in each of the modules. So this is absolutely incredibly powerful. Let me just bring back up my slides right now. Make sure you can see that all right. And then what I'll do is, so go to this link right now, networkingsuperstars.com/new, and complete your scholarship application as soon as you can. Let's just hear from a couple of people. I want to bring Sarah on, and I want to bring Laura on if they are around, just because obviously you've heard from me a while for a bit. So let me just find them, see if I can find Sarah there. And Sarah has been one of our ambassadors for a while now. She started off exactly where you are. Sarah Allison. Okay. Unmute Sarah. Hey, Sarah, can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes, I can hear you.
Good,
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. Perfectly loud and clear, actually. No, I appreciate you being on. I just wanted to find a couple of people that have been through this process that, we've been working together for a while now, and maybe just paint the picture as to what things were like before and what things are like now. Because I know you got to the point where you had so many leads and people coming into your community that it just became, it was like, wow, how do I cope with this many leads? And that is probably an incredible feeling to have.
Absolutely. Before I met you, when I went through this process, I was literally failing. I was doing so many things right, but I just couldn't get that engagement. I couldn't get people to talk to. I didn't speak to a single person prior to starting on the 6-Step Sponsoring Sequence. And now I speak to people every single day, and I'm getting between 5 and 10 new people every day to speak to. And yes, it can be overwhelming at times, but in the most amazing way. It's it's not a complaint. It's an absolutely amazing feeling to think that you're reaching out to this many people, and that you're helping people ultimately. And yeah, it's just changed everything for me. My confidence has grown enormously as well in everything that I do. I've learned a lot about myself, and I can't sing this process praises any higher than all the results that you've seen. They're genuine. They're not. We're all real people. We've got people in our own communities, and like I say, it's just real people getting genuinely real results.
And anybody can do this
process.
as well, can't they? You've worked with some people now that are now duplicating what you've done, and I think that's where the power comes in. That it shows that anybody can do this process if they're willing to stick with it and just learn it.
Absolutely, and those people are now getting results themselves. I know one of the ladies who joined up with the 6 steps. She's got over 84 comments on one of her posts this evening.
Wow,
how incredible is that?
I didn't know anything about that. I need to know more about it. You need to send me that via message, because that's all.
I will do. It's fantastic. She's having that overwhelmed feeling herself, but in an amazing way.
Yeah. And it's kind of an excitement, isn't it?
For a few weeks.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I appreciate it. Definitely let me know who that is. And I will. I can see a few people saying they can't find the group or they can't find the page. Let me see if I can get back to my main screen a second and just share the browser with you. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you sharing those words. I'll bring Laura in a second very quickly as well. Let me just show people where the group is. I know there's a ton of people. It's called Networking Superstars Journey to Freedom. Probably the only way you're going to find it, because I don't really have a link, is to type in Networking Superstars Journey to Freedom in the actual top part of Facebook, and it should come through. And then once you're there, leave a comment, and we've got a ton of comments here, probably 30, 40 comments, maybe more. Okay, let's bring Laura on and then we'll wrap up. But I think everybody knows what to do now. I look forward to speaking to you, or the person that invited you here will be speaking to you very soon to see if you're a fit for the scholarship program. Let's see if I can find Laura quickly. Okay, Laura, I think you're on. How are you doing?
Hi, Gavin. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Awesome. No, I'm doing very well, thank you. It's amazing how many people are excited.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah, and I know you and Sarah and Nicole and many of the others have invited quite a few people to the webinar, which is awesome. And I'm just interested in your perspective, because I know, similar to Sarah, you'd started, or maybe you'd been doing it for a little while, probably struggling and banging your head against the wall, maybe trying to do things with crazy technology and that. But I think you were one of the people that I showed had got like 90 something comments on one post. Yeah. And I know you get a lot of engagement in your group. You've been building up some good relationships, but maybe from your perspective, it would be interesting to hear a bit about what you've been doing.
Yeah, for the folks that are not in my community, I've been in network marketing a very long time. In the grand scheme of things, most people say they've been in network marketing a long time, and then you say how long, and they say a year, and that really is not the case. For me, I'm talking like 7 years, and had got nowhere, and I'd picked up my business and put it down, and picked up and put it down. About a year ago, I decided to get really serious because circumstances in my life changed, and I wanted to make it work. But I was still in that place where the support from my upline was just very much repeating the old write your list, just talk to as many people as you can. And when you've been doing that for 6 years, that the list hasn't got any longer, really. And I just felt completely uncomfortable with that. So I did turn to online, and I just felt completely bamboozled by the whole thing. I didn't know what a capture page was, let alone how to use one, how to even get leads, where to even start. I totally did not want to be doing the whole spammy approach at all. I just saw people doing it, and I thought, this is not for me. I don't understand how you would get any results from that. It just seems to be people spamming to each other about their own companies. So that's how I ended up going on this route of self-discovery and self-development, and found Networking Superstars and 6-step sponsoring sequence. So I jumped on the bandwagon as soon as I saw the potential for a system that I could implement in a very, very limited space of time. because I only have about 2 hours a day to do all of this. And I do work very hard in that 2 hours, but it is a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. And I'm very, very dedicated to getting to a point in my life where I have more free time and more freedom and more flexibility with things that I'm doing. So it's been fantastic. In just a few short months, literally 3 months, really, I have now over 500 people in my group. I've signed people into my primary business. I've made affiliate sales, and I'm building some really, really strong friendships and strong connections. And people are actually asking me, you know, how do they do this and how can they implement that? And you know, the idea that I'm helping people, I never ever feel like I'm selling anything these days. I always feel like this is the next step to helping somebody on their journey, on their yellow brick road, or on their path, whatever you want to call it. And it's just fantastic. It's made me feel like I'm in a much better place in my own head and in my own space, and just generally in life, really. It's just given me so much focus. And you know, I just can't even tell people enough, if you're sitting on the fence, just get off it and get on with it, because honestly it's going to make such a big difference to you.
I think you're an inspiration as well to many people, because you know, you said you got 2 hours a day to work on this. You've got a you know, young family. You've got you know, other commitments as well, and you fit this in around it. And I know many people are in a similar situation. You know, they've got children, they've got family, they've got day jobs, they've got life that they have. You know, washing, shopping, ironing, all that kind of stuff, household chores. But this is something that I think the big challenge with most people is they don't really know what they're doing. So they sit down at their computer and they kind of press a few buttons, they jump around a little bit. They're not really sure they're not making any progress. They don't see the little wins. They don't see that you've got the first leads or the first communication or the first, you know, more people into your community, or you get your first ever sign up. That's something we do a lot of, is we celebrate that. But I think it's easy just to waste time just sitting there and actually not moving forward. So this gives you that 2 hour a day process that you can use. You can do more if you want, can't you? Or you can do less.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, you're totally right. You know, I would sit down in front of Facebook, and I was quite lucky in that I was networking in Facebook quite for most of the year. So I have quite a big friend circle with people that are in my target market, and so I was lucky that I could reach out to those people that I'd already started to speak to. But the amount of time I think back that I've wasted chatting aimlessly with people and not really achieving anything, until I've discovered this, where you know, you've got conversation ascension, you're taking them through a process. Yes, you're still building that relationship, and no, it's not fake, it's very real, but it's much more structured and much more leading towards an end goal, where you're going to be helping this person one way or another, instead of it just being about the weather or what they did that weekend, or you know, whatever you happen to be chatting about. So yeah, it's quite frightening when I think back how much time I did actually just spend chatting to people aimlessly, and now when I sit down to do it, I do it with a purpose.
Yeah, exactly, with a purpose. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. And you know, as I say, you're an inspiration to many, and I think you've have got a lot of people on here as well that you'll be able to get back to and help them through this process as well. So thank you, Laura. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll get wrapped up. I'm just going to hear from Nicole for 2 minutes, and then we'll wrap up. Anybody who wants to drop off, you're welcome to, but make sure you get that application submitted as quickly as possible, and then we'll get back to you. Normally, as long as your application's been approved within 24 to 48 hours max. So, yeah, Nicole, I don't know if you just wanted to come on and say a few last words before we wrap up.
Absolutely. I would like to say thank you, as always, for all that you do for our community and all of the people that we reach out and touch, because this is definitely making a difference in people's lives. Just like Laura said, you know, being able to take 2 hours and actually do something with purpose and feel accomplished rather than spinning your wheels, it'll absolutely change your business. And making that shift over to just learning these 6 simple steps so that you can go out and have natural, easy breezy conversations with people that actually yield results, rather than those awkward, uncomfortable, you know, conversations that feel awful and never yield anything. I mean, it's a game changer, and you can't afford to let this pass you by. I know that the scholarships, we're only going to have those for a couple of days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, grab the scholarship. Just don't worry. Don't think about the price. Don't fixate on that. This is really about helping you get something in place that's going to finally have the results that you've been working so hard for in your business. And that is priceless, and that is not something that you can afford to turn away from. I will just tell you that from personal experience. I feel like I got in early on in the game when I turned to the internet. I partnered up with Gavin, and I got lucky, and I know that. And this is your moment of luck right now, so seize it, guys.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much. And great. Well, thank you to everybody who's been here and who has been on. I look forward to this journey to freedom with you. I know we've had a lot of people interested. We're going to get a lot of the scholarship requests through. Some of you will be approved, some won't. We'll speak to you and just make sure that you're fit for the program. As long as you're in it to help people and make a difference in the world, chances are you are going to be successful at this, and we will accept you through the process as well. So I'm looking forward to that very, very much. Great. Well, thank you so much again, and I will log off now and see you soon. All right. Take care, and I'll
Thank
see you
you,
around the
Gavin.
community. Thank you. Bye-bye.